5 teens with extraordinary abilities find themselves locked up in a remote facility. Under a suspicious doctor's stern supervision, the teens must learn control while confronting their own dark pasts. A girl wakes up to her entire house shaking as her father grabs her and runs out of their home. Explosions rock the entire place, with flaming debris flying everywhere as an unseen force destroys everything in sight. The two run into the forest, where the father hides his daughter, Danny, behind a tree before going back to help the others. Danny tries to stop him, but he goes anyway, only to have his lifeless body thrown in front of her moments later. Danny makes a run for it, pursued by the mysteriously savage being, until she tumbles down the hill and hits her head on a rock. She wakes up in her room later, looking up at a girl in a ceiling vent who disappears. Handcuffed to a hospital bed, Danny gets up and pulls her bed by the window, seeing a chapel outside. Then, Danny moves to the other side of the room with her bed and desperately tries to open the locked door. After that, a female voice from a PA system tells Danny she'll be coming to her. A doctor appears and unlocks the door, introducing herself as Dr. Reyes and removing Danny's restraints. The doctor informs the girl that she is the sole survivor of a tornado that hit their Native American reservation. Danny refutes this, describing a growling creature that chased her, but Dr. Reyes attributes this to traumatic stress. The doctor then gives Danny a black bear pendant recovered from the catastrophe. As the young girl cries, the security camera appears to record and monitor her vitals. Later, in a different, more homely room, Dr. Reyes reveals to Danny that she is a mutant, the reason she survived the reservation disaster unharmed. The doctor explains how mutation usually manifests during puberty and offers to help her figure out her capabilities. Dr. Reyes adds that her employer has found other young mutants like Danny, reassuring the girl that she's not alone. While escorting Danny to her room, Dr. Reyes explains that the facility is a repurposed hospital that takes care of young mutants. The doctor regretfully reminds Danny that she is the only survivor from the reservation, but assures her that she's in a safe place. The next day, Dr. Reyes tries to start a discussion with 4 teams named Sam, Ilyana, Roberto, and Rain about how their mutation first manifested. The teens are uncooperative, but just as Rain is put on the spot, Danny arrives and takes a seat. Rain shares how she sought help from a reverend to pray the mutation out of her, but he ended up beating her when she transformed. Dr. Reyes then reprimands Roberto and Ilyana's glib attitudes, exuding a stern personality focused on instilling compliance in her wards. When Ilyana gets up to leave, the doctor instructs her to show Danny around the hospital. Later, Danny pesters Ilyana with questions, but the latter talks to her dragon hand puppet named Lockheed to mock Danny. After getting permission from Dr. Reyes to unlock the front doors, the two girls go to the courtyard, where Danny notices the open front gate. Ilyana tricks her into running out the gate to escape, and Danny sees a wolf sprinting past her just before she hits an invisible barrier. Danny touches the barrier, which appears to extend up and around the hospital grounds just as Ilyana tauntingly reveals the whole thing is a cage. Furious, Danny attempts to tackle the laughing girl, but Ilyana simply vanishes into thin air. From a distance, the wolf observes Danny yell in frustration. Consumed by survivor's guilt, Danny climbs the chapel's clock tower, intending to jump off it. Rain shows up and talks Danny out of her plan, assuring the grief-stricken girl that there are other ways to escape the hospital, and things will get better. Danny reaches for Rain's outstretched hand and the two fall back inside the tower. Later, Rain covers for Danny when Dr. Reyes questions where they've been. After the doctor leaves, the two girls watch Sam attach a thick cord to himself. Sam then blasts off the ground, flying in circles while still tethered to a large rock as Rain speculates if he is just trying to hurt himself. Inside a hospital, Rain briefs Danny about Sam, who dropped out of school to help his father in the mines, and Roberto, who was sent there by his rich parents to be cured. When Danny jokes about Roberto being crazy, Rain implies it's Ilyana who's unhinged. That night, Rain takes Danny to her room, assuring her that Dr. Reyes means well and is intent on helping them. Danny then thanks Rain for helping her. Later on, the surveillance system continues to keep tabs on the 5 mutant teens. While Sam and Roberto chat in the laundry room, one of the cameras pick up a heightened energy reading from Danny, who seems to be having a nightmare. The power fluctuates for a moment, but the guys just ignore it, and Roberto soon leaves. Sam then hears a pounding sound from one of the washing machines, which he investigates. Sam is somehow transported to an underground tunnel with miners. He finds his father at the end of the tunnel, face bloodied, asking Sam what he did. A hand appears on the washing machine's door, causing Sam to blast off to the opposite wall in terror. Meanwhile, Danny spies the camera in her room as Dr. Reyes observes the elevated energy reading on the girl. The next day, in the shower room, Danny asks Rain about the W-shaped mark on the back of her shoulder, but a troubled-looking Rain declines to elaborate. In the men's shower room, a distraught Sam stares in the mirror and starts beating himself up. In the entertainment room that night, Ilyana provokes Danny into a fight over the latter's unknown mutant abilities. When Danny hits her in the face, Ilyana reveals her armored right arm clutching a blue flaming sword and attempts to strike Danny with it. Dr. Reyes arrives and intervenes by shielding Danny with an energy barrier, consigning the feuding girls to solitary confinement. After getting locked up in one of the small cells, Danny hears Ilyana talking softly to Lockheed in the next cell. Ilyana then remembers a childhood memory wherein she was stalked by a grotesquely thin man in a smiling mask. Later that night, Danny has a nightmare where a red-eyed beast appears to devour her. Dr. Reyes unlocks the cell and finds Danny confused and covered with blood spatters. The hospital's computer readings are unable to determine her mutant powers and recommend collecting blood samples. The next day, as Dr. Reyes collects a vial of blood from Danny, she explains how new mutants are barely able to control their newfound powers. This makes them a danger to themselves and other people, necessitating their separation from regular society, as the doctor opines. Dr. Reyes approves of Danny's budding friendship with Rain, affirming that the hospital's program will help them understand and control their powers better. Meanwhile, Rain encounters a spectral presence while seeking mental refuge in the chapel's confessional, driving her out with whispered curses. Danny later visits Rain in her room, but Sam invites them to join him, Ilyana, and Roberto while Dr. Reyes is asleep. The teens go to an attic hideout that the doctor's surveillance supposedly doesn't reach, filled with curios from before it was a mutant facility. Ilyana then brings out a polygraph and hooks Roberto up to it for a truth-telling game. Unembarrassed Roberto refuses to reveal the number of girls he's been with and simply says he gets too hot, daring Sam to do it instead. Answering Rain's question, Sam reveals his dad gave him the piece of coal he carries around right before he died. Ilyana interrupts the game to ask Danny about her bear pendant. Danny says her father made it, inspired by the story of a demon bear inhabiting every person, growing bigger as it feeds on their fear. The pendant is a reminder of how small the bear starts out, a remembrance to not be overcome by fear. Ilyana arrogantly takes her turn on the machine as Danny asks her why she ended up at the hospital. Ilyana claims to have killed 18 men with her sword and Lockheed, with Rain verifying through the machine that she's not lying. Unknown to the group, Dr. Reyes is monitoring them in the attic. The next day, Dr. Reyes gathers the teens for a talk about obedience, which will help them progress through her program and move on to her superior's facility. Sam gets frustrated when the doctor references his accident as the reason he's being kept at the hospital and not prison. He complains about having nightmares and lashes out at the doctor's indifference before walking out. That night, Dr. Reyes falls asleep due to Ilyana spiking her tea as the teens have fun around the hospital. Later, they speculate on who the doctor's superior might be, and Roberto implies it must be Charles Xavier, the leader of the X-Men. The X-Men are mutant heroes that protect humanity from malicious mutant threats. When Rain and Danny leave, Sam chats with Roberto, revealing that his accidental use of his mutant powers caused the death of his dad and most of the mining crew. Roberto sympathizes but refuses to disclose the reason he is in the hospital. Elsewhere, Rain and Danny manage to get out of the hospital through one of the vents. The two then lie down in a graveyard to watch the rain light up the barrier. Inside the hospital, Roberto follows the sound to the swimming pool, where he soon joins a flirty Ilyana. Meanwhile, Danny remarks how Rain is too good to be real, and the two share a kiss as Rain's amber eyes manifest. Back at the pool, Roberto and Ilyana also kiss passionately, but Roberto breaks off after noticing he's getting too hot. Roberto confesses that his mutant powers burned and killed his girlfriend, but Ilyana assures him that she's immune, then vanishes in the water. The security cam feed then shows Ilyana fully dressed and scribbling on her room's walls. Moments later, a blackened arm caresses Roberto's back, and he turns around to see the scorched corpse of his girlfriend, Mariella. Roberto cowers in a corner as Mariella's burning body approaches him. Rain senses Roberto's distress and runs inside with Danny just as Dr. Reyes wakes up and sees the commotion on the control room feed. She heads for the pool room, followed by Sam. They converge in the pool area to see Roberto consumed by fire, burning like a human sun. Dr. Reyes uses the cleaning tool to push him into the water and douse the flames. Roberto emerges relatively unscathed and sees Ilyana arrive, seemingly oblivious to what just happened. Afterward, Roberto attempts to escape the hospital, accusing Ilyana of trying to kill him. Dr. Reyes vouches for the girl being in her room, causing Roberto to believe that the doctor has trapped them inside with demons. Ilyana then threatens the doctor, but Dr. Reyes proceeds to put the girl in solitary and initiates a complete lockdown of the hospital. The next day, Dr. Reyes hooks Danny up to a machine and prompts her to recall events before coming to the hospital. The girl remembers running from a creature called the Demon Bear, but looking at the doctor, she sees different visions. These depict the severe mistreatment of mutant children, all happening in a different facility. Concurrently, Ilyana and Rain are subjected to what appear to be manifestations of their worst fears and experiences. Ilyana finds an image of a smiling man spray-painted outside her cell while Rain encounters the priest she killed, triggering her transformation as the priest subdues her and uses a branding iron on her. Hearing the wolf howls, Dr. Reyes and the rest of the teens rush to the source just as Rain, in wolf form, runs past them. Unable to get past one of the doors, Rain reverts to human form with a red W burned into her neck. Ilyana interrupts the commotion by claiming Danny is the source of the horrific phenomena and proceeds to transport her into a hellish realm. Danny instinctively transforms her face into the smiling mask from Ilyana's nightmares, causing the latter to recoil back to the hospital. Dr. Reyes sedates Ilyana, who tells the doctor that Danny is in their heads and will destroy them. Danny later visits Ilyana, returning the puppet Lockheed to its owner. At Danny's inquiry, Ilyana explains that the fiery world they entered is born out of her and Lockheed's minds, called Limbo. It was their refuge from the smiling men, malevolent beings who took pleasure in tormenting her. That night, Dr. Reyes receives a message deeming Danny a threat and orders her termination after collecting a few more DNA samples. Danny visits Rain, who remains affectionate and attributes her fear to the priest and not the girl. Upon telling Rain about her vision during Dr. Reyes' test, Danny speculates that's where they'll end up after moving on from the hospital. Just then, Dr. Reyes summons Danny, who reassures Rain that she'll find a way to escape using her abilities somehow. As Dr. Reyes takes Danny to a hidden room, Rain, Ilyana, and Sam follow the faint sound of music to Ilyana's room, where the door has turned black. While Rain runs to fetch the doctor, Ilyana and Sam check the room where they find the smiling man. The creature reveals its hideous face and chases the two teens away. Meanwhile, as Dr. Reyes prepares to dispose of a terrified Danny with an injection, Rain zeroes in on the girl's location with her heightened senses. At the same time, more smiling men ambush Sam and Ilyana, capable of physical contact. Sam manages to rescue Ilyana from one of the creatures by smacking it with a fire extinguisher. In the hidden room, Dr. Reyes tells an unconscious Danny how the girl is the most powerful mutant they've had, but her superiors deem her powers uncontrollable. Suddenly, Rain falls from the ceiling vent onto the doctor's shoulders and scratches her face and body bloody. Dr. Reyes stabs the wolf girl with a scalpel and then runs out of the room, her brooch falling to the floor. Rain then rescues Danny just in time. Afterward, Dr. Reyes abandons Sam and Ilyana, being chased by a smiling man. Sam tries to encourage Ilyana to fight as more smiling men appear, but she suddenly teleports, leaving him with no choice but to blast through the monsters. Sam then finds Roberto trying to break down the force field-coated doors, and the two go to find the girls until more smiling men show up. Ilyana returns and slashes through all the monsters using her sword, rescuing the two guys. The teen regroups in the doctor's office as Ilyana reads from a file affirming her potential as a killer, endorsed by the Essex Corporation. Danny realizes Essex must own the facility in her vision, which trains young mutants to be killers instead of X-Men. The teens conclude that the only way to take down the force fields and escape the hospital is to eliminate Dr. Reyes. Rain leads the others and tracks down Dr. Reyes by scent, finding the injured doctor in one of the rooms. Dr. Reyes then generates force fields around each of the teens, trying to calm them down while singling out Danny, who she believes must be put down. While the teens strain to get out, the doctor reveals that Danny's abilities subject people to their darkest fears until it kills them. Just as Dr. Reyes is about to kill Danny, the girl summons the gigantic demon bear, which crashes through the room and mauls the doctor to death. The force field dissipates and the teens carry the unconscious Danny away from the demon bear, hunting them. Rain deduces that it's Danny the bear is after, given that it's her greatest fear. Ilyana then instructs the others to take Danny to safety as she goes to battle the demon bear. After that, she summons a portal to Limbo to equip her sword armor and Lockheed in its miniature dragon form. Outside the hospital, Ilyana engages the bear, slashing at its back with her sword while Lockheed spits flame on its face. Meanwhile, Rain and Roberto take Danny to the chapel while Sam goes to help Ilyana. Rain attempts to hide with Danny in the confessional, but the demon bear rips off its top. Sam blasts through the window into the bear's face, knocking off a massive tooth that barely misses Roberto. Rain tries to wake Danny, who hears her voice in a subconscious plane and follows a wolf running past her. At the same time, Ilyana continues to fight the demon bear, flitting in and out of Limbo to amplify her attacks but gets smacked out of the chapel anyway. At Sam's encouragement, Roberto steps up and transforms into his jet black mutant form to fight the bear. Danny retreats to a hollow tree in her subconscious, hesitant to wake up and face the demon bear. Back in the chapel, the bear slams Roberto into the floor as Rain scratches at its face while Sam grabs Danny from under the monster. Danny then meets her father's spirit, encouraging her to wake up and confront her fear. She wakes up to Rain desperately scrambling away from the demon bear and commands the beast to stop. Asserting control, Danny eventually calms the bear down and puts her pendant away to banish it completely. The next day, Danny thanks the others while the teens rummage through the remains of Dr. Reyes' office. Rain thanks Danny for saving their lives just as Sam throws his piece of coal to the sky and finds the force field gone. At Ilyana's suggestion, the group walks off and leaves the hospital grounds.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.